is Dallas's season over? And two, how did you feel about Tampa Bay's performance?
Season's over. Sorry, Cowboy fans. Season is done. It's hysterical to me. It is done. And I mean, I'm sorry about Dak Prescott, but really, you guys weren't doing much with Dak Prescott right now. And you managed 3 points with Dak this past on Sunday night. They struggled to score. And you expect me to think Cooper Rush is going to lead this offense, an offense that really doesn't have that much explosiveness, even though on the bright side, Zeke did look like he was running a lot stronger. So that I'm very happy to see that. But on your weapons on the outside of your two running backs, CeeDee Lamb, I'm starting to question, is he worthy of the number 88? Can he live up to the guys that wore it before him? I don't know.
After just one game?
I'm just saying, it's maybe I am overreacting, but then again, it's overreaction Monday. So this is what we're supposed to do. Is he worthy of number 88? Is he going to be that guy, that number one? I saw what Justin Jefferson just did to the Packers being the number one. I saw what Jamar Chase just did to the Steelers, even though in a losing effort as a number one. Is he going to take the reins? Grab the bull by the horns, be a true number one. If the Cowboys don't have that, if Cooper Rush, who's going to be the quarterback now, if he can't lead this team and actually trust CeeDee Lamb to be the guy he's going to rely on, I have a lot of questions about this Cowboys team, not just this year, but even in the future. So I think the Cowboys season is done. Their best chance was because of their quarterback. And while they do have a strong defense, Micah Parsons looked excellent. Oh my gosh, he's a manimal back there, man. He's an absolute stud. And there's some building blocks there, but this isn't the year that's a tough loss to lose your franchise guy first week of the season. You need to make your mark. We spoke about Arizona losing D-Hop. If you're losing that guy so early in the season, you lose so much firepower in that offense. If you struggle out the gate in those first 6 weeks, your season's over playing in that division. And now their only saving grace is if the Giants suck, if the Eagles find a way to stumble out the gate. And I mean, the Commanders Carson Wentz was on his bully yesterday. So we'll see. So it's really, they'll be praying for the NFC East to continue to be the NFC least. That's the only chance. I know that was a long answer. But what was the second question?
The second one was, how did you feel about Tampa Bay's performance?
So one thing, I don't know about you guys, but I'm super stoked. And I said this the last time we spoke about Tom Brady and Julio Jones, that connection. Tom Brady took a couple of deep shots to him. I know they connected on one beautiful ball by Brady, even better catch by Julio. And then he threw one, there was a play action, threw to the left sideline. Although it was dropped, but man, almost an insane grab by Julio there. They're going to be out with Godwin's going to be out for a while, but I still have complete and utter faith. It's Tom Brady under center. He'll rally the troops together. That offense struggling to score points, that won't happen for long. I wouldn't be surprised if next week they're dropping 30.
Got a question. So Dak is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. With Prescott out, the Cowboys will win how many games?
Do you have the schedule in front of you?
So they're going to Cincinnati.
They got a tough one.
They're going to be at home, though, this upcoming week. Following that, they have the Giants and the Commanders, the Rams, Eagles, Lions, Bears, and Packers November 13th. Week 7.
They can beat the Commanders or Giants. Those are toss-up games. They're probably going to lose every other game if Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback.
Now, the Cowboys the Packers-Cowboys game is week 9. So that would be the worst-case scenario of the game that Dak returns.
Like I said, there are 2 division games they play. Giants, Commanders can be toss-ups, but the other games I expect all L's because I just don't think Cooper Rush is the guy to do it.
And his one start last year against the Vikings, they did win, and he threw a pair of touchdown passes for over 300 yards.
The Cowboys always beat Kirk Cousins. So
the Vikings secondary last year was burnt toast, akin to the Rams this last week. So that's important to note. For the Buccaneers, definitely not their best performance offensively. Can Julio Jones keep this up? Because he's shown the capability, and we saw that last night. But with him, it's all about durability and snap count. And with Chris Godwin now out, you can say to yourself, well, if he has to step into a number two receiver role along with Russell Gage coming back from injury, there's a case they may have to, use him more than his body can allow. I know he's been on that TB12 diet with Alex Guerrera, right? That's his name. But I mean, the dude the last 2 seasons, or last 3 seasons, just hasn't been right.
So to piggyback on both of you, Julio looks pretty damn good. I see absolutely zero decline in Tom Brady, and anybody who says they do, I really don't know what you're watching. I mean, the zip is still there, the arm is still there, the experience is still there. He had one blunder, the defender made a great play. That's going to be his career achievement and game ball that he's going to keep forever. Is that he intercepted Tom Brady. Kudos to you, but he even mouthed to Mike Evans right after the play. He said, "My fault," because he knew he messed up. He did see the defender coming out. Um, Listen, positives though. Leonard Fournette was running like that fourth overall pick. He should be 21 carries for 127 yards. That's 6 yards a carry. I mean, he was booming, and then he had that one incredible block on Micah Parsons where he absolutely sat Parsons on his ass. That was beautiful. Julio, they even gave the ball twice too. They're using him a little like Debo, I guess. Um, Mike Evans looked solid. Chris Godwin, hope a speedy recovery. It was a tough catch that he had to make where I guess he hyperextended his hamstring. He's going to be out a couple weeks, like Justin said. But yeah, I expect it really to be Mike Evans is going to be the guy, and then everybody else is going to be committed. Julio is going to obviously probably be on a snap count limited because they don't want to overwork him. And he's probably going to get a lot more later in the season, especially in the playoffs, because he's a trustworthy target. Russell Gage probably going to fill in. Scotty Miller's still there. He's a speedster. Perriman. Brady didn't really get targets, which is crazy. Brady didn't even really use his tight ends. 3 targets, 1 catch for Brady. The O-line held up pretty well. He only got sacked twice. Well, not. I mean, Michael Parsons had himself a day though. That kid is special. I mean, he's arguably I don't know if it's hyperbole, but he's arguably the best defensive player in the league. I mean, I always prefer, and this is one thing that I have against Aaron Donald, and it's not really a him thing; it's more of his position. I prefer edge rushers because I think they can impact the game more than an interior lineman. So Micah Parsons, I mean, there's a lot of hyperbole, I guess you'd call it. A lot of people are saying this guy is the best they've seen since. I know it's Lawrence Taylor. I mean, they're saying it. But he looks special, man. They do. The Tampa Bay does play the Saints next week. I think it's in New Orleans, so that's going to be a tough matchup. The Saints didn't look very good. John's going to probably have something to say about that. But yeah, I mean, listen, Tom's used to this. He's done this a bunch of times in New England. When the secondary is playing really good and the defensive front seven's not playing well and the running backs are running all over him, he's perfectly fine with his ego setting aside and just turning around, handing the ball off, and winning a 19-3 game. So I have no worries with Tampa Bay. They're still my Super Bowl prediction. They're still my Super Bowl winners. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Dallas fans though. Prayers up to Dak. I hope he has a speedy recovery.
And the Buccaneers or the Cowboys weren't the only ones being hit with injury because the Bucks left tackle and Donovan Smith hyperextended his elbow in the second quarter. That tackle combination of Tristan Wirfs at right tackle and him at left is one of the best in the league. And so when you lose Kappa and all those other veterans interior wise, it's really just Shaq Mason at right guard and Wirfs. So hopefully,
They
apparently,
did say about Donovan that it's a hyperextension, like you said, and it's really more about pain tolerance, how much he can play through. But so he can play through it. So I guess it's really up to him and if he can, muscle through the pain.
which is just ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of painkillers they're at. I mean, like I can't imagine playing left tackle in the NFL. 300 plus pounds going up against the speed
Messed
of
up,
those
yeah.
edge rushers. With
I do gotta say, dude, Antoine Winfield Jr. He's a dog in this league. I mean, he's a chip off the old block.
is he the most underrated safety in the game? Because we talk all the time about, Jesse Bates and my guy Minka, and there's a couple of others too. Justin
Jamal
Simmons, who's
Adams.
playing right now. Jamal Adams, who went down, left the Seahawks game before. Antoine Winfield is one that doesn't get put in that conversation when you think of the elite safeties.
He's
But
very young. I think that's why. It's probably because he's really young. But yeah, I mean, I don't underrate him. I was hoping the Patriots would have drafted him in that draft, but yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. If some people are saying there's concerns in Tampa, I still don't see the concerns in Tampa Bay. I don't. I don't.
Now with Godwin going down, this one name keeps popping into my mind, and I always felt like Tom Brady and this guy would be teammates at some point. But when OBJ is healthy, I could see him finding his way to Tampa Bay. All issues will be resolved. At some point, there's even reports, I don't know how true it may be, but maybe Gronk comes back in midseason.
I don't see Gronk. I don't see OBJ. I think OBJ is going to be a Ram again.
there's a good chance Julio doesn't stay healthy, and so the need is there for OBJ. Julio is phenomenal given the opportunity. He looked great, but I have a really tough time seeing him staying healthy for a 17-game season and then a playoff run as well. Because given his age and where he's been the last couple of years, it is asking a good amount to have a lot of snaps from him.
I think he's going to the Rams. I think they even had a meeting after the game about him coming back to the Rams. I think he likes LA. I think he likes playing with Stafford. I think he really likes Cooper Kupp. Yeah. And also he's not going to be ready till like late October, November time. So, I mean, we just got to see. I mean, Godwin is going to be healthy by then, but we'll see how the season plays out. You know what? I'm with you guys. I wouldn't be surprised if OBJ ends up going there, but my prediction is he's going to be an LA Ram.
So I'm not worried about the Bucks, but a question for you guys on the Cowboys. You have Cooper Rush there as your quarterback. He seems to be taking over. Mm-hmm. Do you make a call to Cam Newton?
I think there were reports, I was talking to John about it before the show, that I think Mike McCarthy said they're going to look into all quarterback possibilities. So if he's the guy that's the best one on the market, I can see it happening.
I would have said Jimmy G, but it seems like San Francisco after week 1 is kind of happy that they have Jimmy G back there.
Yeah, no, they can't pay that much money to Dak and Jimmy G.
I'm not calling for Cam Newton. Cam Newton, the name value is there, but as you guys saw in New England, when he lost their job, he didn't want to be a backup, and it's tough to have him as a backup when Dak returns. And beyond that, he used not knowing the playbook as an excuse to not playing well enough for a New England team that was giving him an opportunity. And so 2 years later, no, I don't think Cam Newton is worth bringing in for the Cowboys. He can bring them some excitement, as he did last year at the Panthers. But it's like a terrible Band-Aid that you know is going to rip. And it's almost like if you dunk the Band-Aid into like a water bath and then try to put it on. It's like, okay, you have a Band-Aid, but it's not going to help you. That's the way I kind of look at Cam Newton if the Cowboys were to bring him in. Cooper Rush had a decent game for them last year, and there is some continuity there. So sorry to cut you off.